What's going on, everyone? It's Alex here from Alex Physio. So today we're going to be going over how to fall asleep after a rib fracture. Welcome. For those of you who are new to my channel, my name is Alexander Kravich. I'm a physiotherapist in Vancouver, British Columbia, and today we're going to be chatting a little bit about how to fall asleep and go to bed with a rib fracture. Let's get right into it. The premise behind trying to fall asleep after a rib fracture is we're trying to be as upright as we can. That will allow us to fall asleep is one of the first things. And the way that we can do that is by putting a bunch of pillows on the headboard, around the headboard where we sleep, so that we can be in a little bit more upright position. And the reason for this is that when you get in and out of bed, it makes it a ton easier because you have to resist less of that generation of intra-abdominal pressure to be able to get out of bed, which is usually the most painful thing. Now, of course, you're going to say, it's hard for me to fall asleep being more upright. So this obviously will depend on the person. But however, generally falling asleep while having pillows elevated will be your best bet in terms of being able to get some sleep. The other thing to be mindful of is having some pillows around you, and depending on where the rib fractures are, to be able to hug during sleep, because the pillows are just going to give you some more of that cushioning, some more of that comfort. And if you do have to cough or sneeze or take deep breaths, you have that pillow right there that you can squeeze when you are trying to fall asleep and if you are waking up in the night. The other thing to be mindful of is if you have a recliner chair at home, this is also going to really make it easier to fall asleep, because the recliner chair will kind of get you in a position that the pillows are meant to mimic. However, the benefit of the recliner is that you can adjust it so that you do have to get out of the recliner chair, you just adjust it to a sitting position and then you just have to stand up, versus trying to roll onto your side, trying to sit up from a horizontal position. And those movements can just generally be a little bit more challenging, which can affect our ability to fall asleep and stay asleep and even get in the bed, because it's so difficult and so painful to get in and out of the bed. Basically just lying down and trying to be as upright as possible. You can use these pillows here and just hug around where that rib fracture is and trying to just sleep in this position. So again, a more upright benefit of this is not only is it going to be easier for me to get in and out of the bed when I wake up in the morning and when I get to bed, it's also that by being a little bit more upright, it will help to keep my lungs slightly more inflated, because if you're just lying horizontally flat with no elevation, then sometimes the likelihood that you can have some issues with regards to your lungs and the little air sacs in your lungs can increase, which can lead to an increased risk of possibly a pneumonia, because if you're lying down all day on your back, then those air sacs aren't opening up as much as we would like them to. So by being relatively upright from having the pillows to elevate you, you're also improving your overall lung health and decreasing the likelihood that you can have that pneumonia. Obviously, I don't recommend that you lie down on your back or even just lying down in this position all day. We do encourage that you try to get up and move and walk around to help with the gas exchange and the lung health overall, to decrease that risk and just improve your overall health in that period that you are recovering, even though it's going to be quite painful, in which it might be beneficial to get a cane or a walker to try to offload some of that load. But regardless, the benefits of being able to sleep a little bit more upright is that you are improving your lung health and decreasing the risk of that pneumonia, in addition to helping to decrease pain and hopefully being able to fall asleep and stay asleep. Because if you can fall asleep and stay asleep, then the hope is that's going to improve your recovery, because that's the time when more of the recovery is happening, when you are getting a good night's sleep. So 7 to 9 hours of sleep a night would be ideal. And of course, that will be difficult in the early stages because of the pain being limited. So trying to optimize the positioning when you're lying down is your best bet to try to maximize the likelihood that you'll be able to get a good night's sleep. The other option is if you do have that recliner chair, then you can position in a way where you have maximal support. So having a bunch of pillows around you, giving yourself a hug, and then leaning that recliner chair back. If you have a footstool or a footrest that you can elevate it on, then this can help to maximize your likelihood to fall asleep, because you're in a position of comfort where the hope is that you can fall asleep quicker, but you're also easier for you to get up and squeeze the pillow as you are getting up before you stand, by having that ability that for the chair to go up into a vertical position and also a reclined position just with a little bit of pressure going back. So this could be a lot more comfortable for people trying to fall asleep in this position, a lot easier in getting up versus on the bed, even if you do have some of the pillows. So those are kind of your go-to options, and having those pillows around you just to act as those splints as you are trying to fall asleep. So hopefully you found value in this video. We went over how to maximize your positioning to optimize your sleep after a rib fracture. I know it is quite painful and quite challenging and limiting to get that full night's sleep, but it's super important to try to play around with some of the positions that are most optimal for you in order to increase the chances that you can get a good night's sleep, in order to not only improve your recovery or increase the likelihood that you'll have a successful recovery, but also hopefully reduce your pain because you're getting more sleep, and then also improving your lung health because you're sleeping in a bit of a more upright position versus if you were just lying horizontally. And then finally, it makes it easier to get in and out of bed or in and out of the chair if you are in a recliner chair, and in and out of the bed if you are a little bit more elevated. So because there is less pressure that needs to be generated in order to try to sit upright. So hopefully you found value in this video. I have a bunch of rib fracture videos and topics associated with rib fracture that you can check out that include exercises, things to know, how to get in and out of bed with a rib fracture, that you can feel free to check out. Have you had a recent rib fracture or rib injury? Feel free to let me know down in the comments how your experience has been and what are some things that you have found to be helpful and not helpful. If you still find value in my videos, please consider checking out some of my other videos. I have over 450 videos on various physio, exercise, and medical related topics. And if you still find value, please consider subscribing to my channel. It really allows my channel to grow and allows me to reach a wider audience. Until then, we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.